time and we're about to go on camera and talk a little bit more or go into a break, or the issue has been resolved and we're about to go back into the game. I do not have confirmation for you guys, but I think we'll be finding out very shortly here.
Yeah, just stick tight with us, guys. Of course, we do have right now Maru against Zest again.
Yeah, but you know what you guys can do right now? If you're so inclined, if you guys are Twitter users, follow SC2 Pro League on Twitter. Go ahead and follow myself, Proxy Wolf, and Brendan at Brendan Valdez. And you can also follow GOM EXP as well, a great organization that I also work with. Codes is starting up soon, working on a lot of content right now, uploading all of the 2013 VODs to YouTube right now for all users for free. So go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube. Check out GOM EXP as well. So just wanted to mention that to you guys. But looks like the players are re-gaming. I'm looking on the screen. I'm seeing we're actually having a re-hosting of the lobby. So we're going to have a totally re-game here. And based on what I'm looking at, I believe it's not a resume from replay. I think it's going to be totally restarted, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually, the referee just selected the players race, so unless that's something that's changed in rules of how lobbies work, I think we actually may resume from that exact point. Only time will tell, guys.
Regardless of what time will tell, we're going to get right into this game really quickly here.
Yep, Maru versus Zest, Terran versus Protoss, the ace match between JINAIR Green Wings and KT Rolster. Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right back into the game. I'm ready, Brendan. Are you?
I am so ready for this match. I cannot wait anymore.
All right, so no player introductions needed. We are going to have a complete regame here, total clean slate. The reason why I saw in the lobby that the lobby host could choose the player's race is because we're using the Pro League map interface where we get to see that cool countdown screen that you guys see where you can see what the players are saying, just like the old Brugor days. That's where that countdown sound comes from. What we saw in the first instance of this game was just what looked to be a one gateway expand, gateway probe scout from Zest. Maru was going for a Reaper expand. And now I expect to see the same thing, but the positions are swapped, so we could see something different.
Yeah, there's definitely possible that we could see something different. This map isn't exactly symmetric, so...
No maps are.
Yep.
Don't be fooled. There's always little things that you could find.
They look similar, but
I mean,
not exactly symmetric.
They're about as close as you can get, but still. You may not feel as comfortable on certain maps doing certain builds. One of the most controversial topics of all time in StarCraft 2 was the topic of add-ons for Terran buildings. Should they be allowed to be made on both sides? Because if you can make them on the left side, then on certain positions it's a little bit easier to wall. For example, let's take a look at this map right now. Say you're Maru and you spawn at the top. You can have your barracks add-on on the inside a little bit further away from ranged attacks. It's a little bit safer. It's still kind of risky to build your add-on as part of the wall, but you know, in Wings of Liberty at the very beginning, sometimes players were doing that. But if you're at the bottom, you can't. Your add-on is actually part of the wall then, and it's not protected at all. So it's a slight advantage to Terran at the top to have your add-on a little bit safer. Just little things like this actually make a lot of difference in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, especially at the highest level. When you're playing a competitive play, it's every single tiny little thing will matter. If your add-on is like 2 hexes closer to where the enemy can attack it, that's going to make a huge difference in a bunch of competitive games. If you're playing at the Silver Gold League, it's probably not going to make too much of a difference, but for these guys who notice every little thing, and every little thing matters, even down to like the last mineral that they have, it's all timed out. They know every little detail. They're going to need to have little details like that sorted out, and that's what you were mentioning before about the add-ons. If it's in the inside, it's going to be a lot more safe compared to the outside or part of the wall.
Sometimes affect the barracks wall at the natural too, just little things like that, and how a Protoss might wall in his main base with a gateway. But the Reaper is complete. We do see that command center being dropped as well as the reactor, exactly what you'd expect to see in any bread and butter Terran versus Protoss. It's the most common build, the safest build, most pro gamers would argue, especially in Korea. And we see a quick Nexus come out for Zest. So he's expecting to see something like this. Nexus before second gas.
Yeah, like you said before, exact same builds we had before the restart. The Reaper now coming in here, going to get warded off by that Mothership core, but he does get one probe before that, and he does not go down.
That's what puts a high Masters level player below a pro gamer, knowing exactly how many shots the Reaper can take from the Mothership core and get the probe and get out. That was not Maru being like, I hope I get lucky here. He knew exactly if he shot the probe one more time and then he turned around, he would get it. If he missed the probe shot, he would have been able to turn around and get away as well. So great decision making by him there. And with the new Reaper and Heart of the Swarm, well, it's about as new as that new radio station that's been around for 3 years. But he's going to be able to regenerate. You know what I'm talking about? You know, the radio, like, new 97 FM, and it's like, well, all right, that you guys never changed your graphic for this or your sound for this because that radio station's been around for 6 years. But
yeah, there's a certain point where you just can't call yourself new anymore.
Yeah,
you can't say certain players are new anymore. They've been around for half a year. It's like, well, you know, this guy's been practicing 10 hours a day in a pro gaming house. Like, he's not new anymore. Come on.
Yeah, well, who listens to radio anymore anyways?
Yeah, that's a good point as well.
Brendan, the blink is on the way. And this is the type of build that I like to see against a player like Maru, who in a straight-up macro game is going to be so solid. Although the build that Maru has chosen, he's gone for the quick +1 version of the build, which gives you a lot of strength, especially through the mid-game. And when you get that 1-1, it's like, oh my god, your Terran units are so strong. But it means that your stim is a little bit late. And the +1 is still useful in the defense against a Blink Stalker attack, but stim is something you would definitely like to have.
Yeah, and just mentioning, you know, that mid-game strength that the +1 gives you, that's what Maru loves to do, and that's probably why he's doing this build. He wants to get that out as quickly as possible, get those units that he just loves to use consistently all the time, get them as strong as possible, get them in your face as Protoss. He has to expect something is going on here. He knows that Zest is probably going to go aggressive here. As you guys see now on your screen, 5 gateways being dropped down there.
Yeah, this is so scary for Maru still. If you don't know this is coming, it is almost certainly impossible to defend. And with all these gates, 6 gates plus blink and the timing that we see here, there's no reason to believe necessarily in Maru's eyes that this is coming. He has units in his main base prepared for a possibility of Oracle, possibly a Mothership core coming in for a scout. But he can't put all of his eggs in one basket and make a bunker there and bunkers at the natural if, you know, this doesn't come. And then he's wasted too many minerals, he gets himself behind. But now he's actually going to go into the main base. A huge mistake by Zest to allow this. He sees the final chrono boost on the Stalkers. How quickly can Maru react? 2 bunkers on the way already. Maybe even wants to add a 3rd. And will he do what we saw TY do and add a sensor tower so he can identify the direction in which the Stalkers are coming? We may see that as well. He, of course, has that engineering bay up. He's going to have stim if this attack takes even a little bit longer, as well as he does have that +1 attack. So a decent spot here for Maru as long as he micros well.
Yeah, he saw that and right away putting down an extra bunker, starting concussive shell as well, trying to get out much more Marauders as well. The stim is going to come up as well as +1. He's starting a starport at the same time. He knows exactly what's going to come out here. He's even putting a supply depot towards the edge to get as much vision as possible.
Look at all of the sentries that we see added here for Zest. He may actually try to trap that army in the main base, then force field those units on the ramp, or force field those units on the bunkers. That army needs to get down, but if he force fields him out, then he can blink in. This is actually quite smart. He's going to constantly have Maru's army split. Maru has a good economy, though, and he continues to reinforce, and as soon as he has his medevacs out, he's going to be in a very comfortable place against these sentries. Maru losing a lot of mining time here as well, don't forget, with all those units there on those bunkers. And where's the force field on the ramp? A little bit too slow here.
A little bit too slow, but he's moving the bulk of his army against the right side of the wall. He's trying to focus down the bunkers as much as possible. There's too many SCVs right now repairing this, and he's forced to back off.
This is a great hold so far by Maru. He lost a lot of mining time, but now he's got the momentum. He has enough units where he should be okay here. That one Widow Mine that he's added is so crucial. He's even going to bunker here at the back. He's not going to salvage that. He knows that could cost him the game if he salvages it. Just ask Dream. Here's another blink forward here onto the bunker. This time, no protection, no SCVs, no sentry either, though, so he's not going to be able to force these units into the main base. There's a time warp to at least slow it down.
The time warp comes out. The SCVs are pulled, and the stim is coming forward. He's trying to rush up and reduce the efficiency of his blink, and he's going to hold this off with his army.
Yep, this is looking great for Maru. He pushes the rest of the Stalkers back. He's got to be careful, though, about the second wave. does force those back just once more. I would love to see the Harvester count because I'm sure Maru, despite taking some losses here, is relatively even. 35 to 46, not a bad place to be when you've got 1-1 upgrades, 7 Marauders, 2 medevacs, more medevacs on the way. You've got double mules, and there's no tech whatsoever for Zest besides Blink. What's he going to do? Make a Dark Shrine here and cross his fingers? He might as well.
That could be his best option right now. He's peeking another Mothership Core right now, as is shown by the Observer. And now this army is on the run. The medevacs that are going to be coming out is going to heal this army. The Warpins are coming in here. I'm not sure if Maru wants to fight this right now.
This is how confident Maru is right now, and he's going to trade well here. But this actually gives a small chance to Zest to maybe come back in this game. If you do something like what Maru has just done, what you do is you say, okay, well, I've got enough Marauders to trade against your Stalker force no matter what. I'm going to get an even trade, and I've got a decent economy, and I've got better tech than you. But if you're Zest and you try to capitalize on that, Maru salvages his bunkers, maybe you can actually just with a counterattack again win the game.
Yeah, Maru definitely has to be careful there. That just highlights just how confident this guy is. He just knew that he could trade there and get out with his medevacs. And looking at his army right now, he looks really nice. He's got +1/+1, whereas Zest, no upgrades.
Yep. Almost ate a Widowmine shot there. The Widowmine actually removes itself on the other hand. It just wants to be in a better position to get a little bit better coverage of the ramp. Maru is golden right now. Look at the army counts. 8 Marauders and 13 Marines, plus the 5 medevacs and combat shields he's about to have against an army that's almost purely Blink Stalker, which just does not... It's the same thing that you look at with a Roach army against the Terran Bio. It's a great, strong unit, the Stalker, but it loses its efficiency over time against medevacs. As you can see here, the Stalkers blink back, they do survive. Well, the Bio, with that healing power, is just pushing this back, and here come the SCVs to finish the job, to make sure they can tank enough. But on the other hand, you know what? Zest's micro here is quite good. He's got a lot of reinforcements and has Maru overextended himself here. I'm speechless, and now the Stalkers move forward. He jumps into the bunker. He tries to repair. He's trying to buy more time. A few more Marauders coming out of the main base. The Stalkers had to blink back.
Oh my God.
Maru, he may have overextended himself with that push out.
He just extended so far. He was fighting right on top of the Time Warp. He was just fighting right there. He could not move. He stimmed. And those Blink Stalkers with the mobility were just able to blink back and back and back. And he just traded so efficiently, Zest did. And Maru had to pull SCVs again.
Look at the production tab. You can see that there's nothing to make for Zest but Stalkers. When he's on cooldown, he can't do anything. Maru, though, a constant stream of production. He just has so much economy. He's got a great amount of tech for the Frost army. Very, very strong here still. The bunker barely finishing in time. He repairs it. He pushes the Stalkers back yet again. This is back and forth, but Zest's army is still continually losing its efficiency. Does Maru overextend himself here again, though? That's the question.
He seems pretty confident, but another Time Warp coming down onto most of his army, but he's continuing to fight this. He's got a bunker back in front of his command center, so he's got that going for him. And so many of his Marauders trading pretty efficiently here.
And even just with these lift-ups into the medevacs, he's been playing some micro trainer maps, I think. Don't forget, he's at 1-1 versus the completely upgradeless Stalkers, minus Blink. And Maru has done it. He has won this game. He's won it for JINAIR. And Zest has had to sit back in disappointment. He had one opportunity, one chance to actually turn this game around, but Maru with too much efficiency here.
Maru now just chasing the what's left of Zest's army. These Blink Stalkers are going to try to blink away, but they're not going to be too good at it. Just trying to do whatever he can, but he's got to know it's over himself. And that's got to be disappointing. Maru just incredible micro again to take another game against the Protoss. Taking the ace match against KT Rolster. He looks ecstatic.
A solid hold, very, very well played, very confident. And one thing I've noticed about Maru in these two games is when he's playing the Terran vs. Protoss, he gets intense. He takes off his shoes. He's had to put his shoes back on both times after leaving the booth. So I'm very proud of Maru. The Terran player's got everything going for him right now. He's now 3-0 against Protoss and also 3-0 in Pro League. Completely undefeated, and he's won JINAIR, their second match that they win in the Ace. And a very, very unhappy Zest there in the booth with a very unhappy coach.
That's got to kill him. I mean, he lost that first game against one Terran and then going up against another Terran, losing that one. When Terran is seen to be underpowered against Protoss right now, Maru shoving that in your face and saying, look at me, I'm 3-0 in Pro League against Protoss. What are you going to say?
It just goes to show the versatility of Blink Stalkers. We saw it looked like he was down and out. Then Maru overextended a little